Hello everyone, this is Kyle Matchamate from the eStudio in the College of Education, and I'm here today to talk with you and guide you through step-by-step how to link Blackboard rubrics to your courses and to your assignments, of course, that you have in those courses. This is a really useful tool that Blackboard offers for you. It's a really valuable tool, but it can be a little overwhelming at first and you might be confused. So I'm going to walk you through it, and if by the end of this video you still have any questions or confusions, you can always reach out to me, or you can reach out to the people at the e-learning department. They would be happy to help you as well. So getting right into it, I'm first going to go to my Blackboard, the home page for Blackboard, and I'm going to go to my courses. For me, it's on the top right, but for you, it might be in the center, it might be in the left, somewhere else, because you're allowed to move the My Courses section. What I want to find is I want to find courses where I am a student. And if I find that, I can find College of Education Rubrics Master. If I find that, I can click on it and I can be brought to this course. What this course is essentially just a place to house all of the rubrics, master rubrics for all of the courses and assignments that you might have in the College of Education. So if I go down here to the left-hand side, underneath College of Education Rubric Masters on this left-hand side area, we find Rubrics as a tab that I can click on. Not Rubrics Blackboard How-To, but instead just Rubrics. If I click on just Rubrics, I will get a full list of all of the departments in the College of Education and the rubrics that they have assigned to their department. So let's say I'm in Educational Foundations, I'm teaching a course, let's say I'm teaching EDF 315, and I need the rubric for this assignment. I can find it right here. Now, if you're having trouble finding your rubric, because right here in EDF we only have EDF 672, 71, 660, 633, if you can't find it, you're going to want to make sure that it gets uploaded in some way. And the best way to do it is to start reaching out to your colleagues in your department, because one of your colleagues is in charge of making sure these rubrics get uploaded here. And so they would be the one to figure that out with you. So that would be the first step I would take. Start emailing all of your colleagues and figure out how you can get your rubrics uploaded into here if you haven't been able to, or you don't see them up here when you get here. So let's say I'm teaching EDF 315. I want to download the file for the rubric, which I am going to then upload into my individual course. Now, most of these are just zip files, and this is actually what we want. We want these zip files. Zip files are actually zip folders. They're folders that have a lot of small other files inside of them, and they are what we're looking for right now. But you might actually find some situations where there'll be PDFs. This one right here, the top one is a PDF, and then the second one is a zip file. We don't want PDFs. PDFs are they're just PDF files with the documents, with the description and rubrics for an assignment, but they're not actually going to help us. We want these zip files underneath. And we can see right here, zip, zip, zip. They're all zipped right here. Sometimes it'll be an anomaly. You'll find a PDF, but you don't want the PDF. You want the zip. Now, if I click on this zip file, it's going to automatically download for me and show up down here. Because I'm using Chrome, so it shows up kind of at the bottom of my screen down here. You might not be using Chrome, or you might have a different thing. Like maybe you'll get a pop-up that asks you where you want to save it, or what you want to name it. You can name it EDF 315 rubric, or whatever the course and rubric name are for you. And you can save it wherever you like. Personally, I think the desktop is a great place to save it. Or you could just save it straight to the downloads and then get it back from there in a moment. Wherever you put it, just make sure you know where you put it so that you can get it back in a few minutes when we need to upload it again into our individual course. But for me, I've got it down there. I'm good to go. I'm going to go back to my Blackboard, the home page. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find my individual course where I'm an instructor. For here, I just have this blanket practice course that I'm working with. The first thing that I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to scroll down under Course Management, and I'm going to want to find Course Tools. Right here, Course Tools. I'm going to want to click on it. I'm going to actually get myself out of the way. Course Tools, if I click on that, I can scroll down, and I'm on this big long list of things that I can click on. One of them is going to be rubrics. If you find rubrics, click on it, because that's where we want to go. And this is actually going to have my rubric that I've already uploaded onto here. I'm going to delete it for you right now, just so you have an idea of what this experience is going to be like. You're going to get to this empty page where it's going to say, hey, do you want to import a rubric? That is exactly what I want to do. I want to import this rubric, which is going to bring me to this page, which is going to say, hey, attach a file. Browse your computer. I'm going to browse my computer, which is going to bring me to, right now the default is the desktop, but I could also go to my downloads page where I just downloaded it. And I know that I just downloaded it because the time right now is 11:56, and this file I downloaded at 11:54, just 2 minutes ago. That is the time that I downloaded this file. You could also click, drag, and drop as well down here if you see it. If you're using Windows, you're probably going to have access to this File Explorer window. If you're using an Apple or Mac, you can just use the Finder. But no matter what, you're going to be able to use those tools to get to the desktop or get to the downloads folder, because those are probably going to be the places where you find them or wherever you chose to save them to. So now that I've got it attached and brought into my course, I can actually click Submit. We're good to go. My rubric has been now attached to my course. I'm good to go. It's going to bring up this small page right here. It doesn't really matter. I just click the OK button here on the bottom right. And now it is included. This is a rubric for the 315 Philosophy of Education paper. It's got a description as well as the date that I uploaded it. So now that I've got the rubric included in my Blackboard course, I'm going to want to attach it to the specific assignment that I have for this rubric. In this case, it would be EDF 315 Philosophy of Education paper, but for your case, it's going to be whatever the specific rubric is for the specific assignment and course you have. So I'm going to go to my Assignments tab up here in the top left on the sidebar. If I go to Assignments, I have this kind of default blank, vague education assignment that I have right here. If I click on it, this is going to be like how you want to submit the assignment. It's not where we want to be. I want to click on this little tiny arrow that's next to it, which is going to allow me to click, and I'm going to have the option to edit the assignment. Or maybe you're creating an assignment for the first time, in which case it'd be like the exact same thing. It would bring you to this page, which is going to say, hey, what do you want the name of the assignment to be? Any instructions for the assignment, any files that you want to attach to the assignment, due dates, all that kind of stuff. But I want to scroll down here, for the purposes of what we're talking about right now, to the grading section. Because when we're in the grading section, I can actually go to Associated Rubrics, I can hover over Add Rubric, and then I can go right towards Select Rubric. This is the one we want to press. Select Rubric under Add Rubric. If I select Rubric, it's going to pull up this page, which is going to say, hey, right here, we have this rubric that's assigned to this course. And if you have multiple rubrics, then it's going to show multiple right here. But I can say, hey, this is great. I want to even see what it looks like. This little button right here is going to allow me to view the rubric. And I'm going to be able to see all of the points and all of the things like that. Looks good to me. I can click this little checkbox, which is going to allow me to submit in the bottom right. And now my rubric has been submitted into this assignment, and it is now being used as the standard rubric for this assignment. You're going to get this little pop-up, and for me it's in the top right here that says, my Blackboard wants to click OK to assign the rubric's maximum points as the points possible. For now, I'm going to click OK. I'll explain this later, but for now I'm just going to click OK. And for now, we can see this rubric has been brought in right here for EDF 315 Philosophy of Education paper. And I am back on screen. I can see right now that I have the options to do some really cool tools with how I use this. For one thing, I can allow my rubric to be shown to students. Yes, with rubric score. I can do yes without rubric score. I can do after grading, or I could do no. You have 4 options of whether or not you allow your students to see the rubric and in what context they see the rubric. Over here on the far left side, right next to the name, here to the left, I have an option to edit my rubric. I can actually click on Edit Rubric. It looks like this with a pop-up window. And I am going to see that I have the name of the rubric, I have the description of the rubric, and then down here I have all of these individual pieces of criteria, the proficient, developing, unsatisfactory, not observed, the amount of points that are associated with this. I have the opportunity to change these as I see fit. I can change the description, I can change the point total from different amounts if I feel it's appropriate. All of that I have the opportunity to do right here in this edit page. I'm going to actually click submit, or I can click cancel if you want to cancel any changes you've made, or if you've made any changes, click submit, and then those changes will be made right away. The last thing that I want to talk about is a little specific, but let's say you don't want to use this rubric for grading purposes, because right now, the way that I have this rubric included, I have used for grading right here as the default, which means when I'm grading the assignment that they submit, I will use this rubric and that will determine the total points value for the assignment. First of all, the points possible, which shows up right here, is 21, and that's because this rubric has 21 points possible to earn when we see all of the different pieces of criteria. We've got 3, 3. If we add all these 3 up, we get 21, which is the total points possible, which means that is the total grade that they can receive for this assignment based on the rubric. Now, we all use points in different ways in our courses and in the ways that we structure our classes. Sometimes 21 is the perfect amount, but maybe you need 210, or maybe you need 50, or maybe you need 60. So you want to be cognizant and aware that the points possible section is the total graded amount that you can give them for the assignment, and you want to make sure that that reflects your syllabus and how you've designed your points totals in your courses. So you just want to be aware of that and make sure that any points possible or points totals that you have reflect that. Now, if you don't actually want to use this rubric for grading, instead maybe you want to use it for secondary evaluation, you can actually hover over this little box right here next to used for grading, and I can use it for secondary evaluation. And then this point total I can change to whatever I need it to be. It can be 0, it can be 100, it can be whatever is appropriate to you in this moment. So this is important to understand because maybe sometimes you're using a rubric for grading, sometimes it's used for secondary evaluation. There's a lot that can go into that, and I would recommend that you contact the e-learning department if you need extra assistance with it. But for now, this is how we would include the rubric into our assignment. Once everything else is all set to go, I can submit, and then we are all good to go. I've added that rubric. It's included in with the assignment, and I'm ready to use it for grading when people start actually submitting their assignments for the course. So thank you so very much for watching this video. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to either myself or the e-learning department. Vince St. Germain is always available to help, and anyone else who's available will also be happy to do so. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you get a strong grasp of this Blackboard feature soon, because I think that it's a valuable tool that will make things a lot easier for you and your course building. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.